begin by, first of all, thanking you for joining us here. Really appreciate it. And this is one of my favorite news conferences, one in which we have the great pleasure and of acknowledging some of our alumni who have contributed very significantly to society in different ways. Not only have they contributed in different walks of life and different spheres of activities, but they have done so in a remarkably short period of time since they left the institute. So this is our Young Alumni Award, and this is the third time we are doing this. We initiated it 3 years ago, and they joined a very distinguished group of young alumni whom we acknowledged over the last 2 years, and we are just very happy to honor them. My hope is that this has at least three consequences. One is, of course, in each one of their activities, they are working very hard and trying to have an impact, and hopefully the fact that the alma mater acknowledges this and recognizes this gives them an additional fillip in their activities. But that's really the smallest of the three reasons. The other two reasons that we have for honoring them, one is to encourage our students, many of whom will be meeting with them. So we are having them visit with our first year students as part of their commencement activities. They came in yesterday, and today they'll be addressing them and engaging in conversations with them. So we hope that the students see in them images of themselves a few years further and are motivated to take flight in whatever direction they have passion for and they have great commitment to, sort of role models, if I may say that. And then the last one, really, I feel, in some ways we have such a plethora of focus in conversations and discussions on things that do not go right. And I think in all that hubbub gets lost the extraordinary effort of people in making things go right and go well. And so in some ways we hope that by highlighting what each one of them has done, by the way, this is in very diverse fields, we are able to acknowledge and we are able to honor the positives of what's happening in our society and our community. With that, I'm going to actually turn it over to Professor Rakesh Basant, who is our Dean Alumni External Relations, to introduce each one of these award winners. And they come in very different spheres of activities. Rakesh will explain a little bit of that, and also have contributed in very distinct ways, which is also something we take great pride in at IIM. We do not get students here and point them in a specific direction. We tell our students that we have confidence in them and we provide them with the skills, and then they can take wings and fly in whatever direction they feel they can contribute. And that confidence in our students has had extraordinary impact, I feel, in terms of their contributions in different areas of activity. So with that, Rakesh.
Thank you, Ashish. I don't want to take much time because some of the details that are required are there in the press note. I want this opportunity for you to interact with the awardees. But very briefly, we have three categories in which we award our alumni in program. One is corporate leadership, the second one is entrepreneurship, and the third category essentially is a very heterogeneous category which includes public service, academia, writing, sports, and so on. Depending on the kind of nominations we receive, we decide in the area in which we want to recognize. In this year's awards, we are recognizing public service. As compared to last year, we received many more applications, and much more importantly, the quality of applications was much better. And we are quite happy with that. It was actually quite difficult to decide who all should be included. We have taken this view that this is not a competition. It is a way for the institute to recognize significant contributions. And so if the contributions go beyond a kind of threshold that we have in mind, we plan to recognize them in future years as well. With that, I will open it up to you for questions. You know the profiles of the people that we have here in the 3 categories. The note is with you, and I would request you to ask questions for that because we don't have much time.
Yeah. May I just, however, request our guests who have come from near and very far as well, if they want to say anything. And again, I would request before we have the interaction, each one of our guests to just take maybe a few minutes and just share their views. And I will begin with the gentleman to my left. Okay.
I think I want to start by just saying that I was often asked, and many people even continue to ask me now, if you had to join the IAS, why did you go through this long route of doing an IIM and Ahmedabad MBA? And I always say that that my joining the IAS, that bug was inside me right from the beginning. So it's nothing to do that. The question, that's not the right question to be asked. Instead, I tell them, I said I feel it's important for every IAS officer to go through this experience if he can. The government has this option, of people coming and doing 1-year degree at IIM Ahmedabad, so it's not a 2-year degree. But I often tell them that if you can, please come and do this degree, because this it will help you not only it will help you not only in your job, but it will also make you a more confident and more able person in life as such. So I think I always, this is the way I look at this degree. I think I will let somebody else know.
Sure, please. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, thank you. I've had a fairly predictable corporate life, unlike some of the people here. And for many years, I used to believe that IIMA, the biggest contribution that IIMA has is the credibility that it gives you when you're talking in a boardroom or a meeting room. And you never know who's making more sense. But if people know you're from IIMA, people think that you're making sense, which is a great a great help in many ways. But I think over the years you realize that the foundation that many of us build by being here, which is whether it's the rigor of this hard work and plain old-fashioned hard work is still the #1 thing that you need in life. I think for me, IIMA taught me. I never worked so hard, and also the whole work ethic, the whole art of detailing, and while you learn a lot, when you go out and start working, I guess for us, we always keep looking back at, hey, this is what I learned. I remember 3 years ago, I was getting into hedge in my new role, and my CFO was trying to tell me something, and I actually was able to recall something from my course, and I said, no, I think you're wrong. So I think in many ways it surprises you. Initially, we tend to undermine what it gives you, but as the grey comes, we tend to really acknowledge what we've done here. We're quite grateful to the professors for getting us here and giving us this platform.
Thank you, Ram.
So I think I'll start then. So thank you to the professors, thanks to the Institute for creating this opportunity, which didn't exist when we were here, and I think it's a real step forward. And certainly, I suspect I speak for everybody. We're all humbled for it, I think, and certainly I feel very privileged to be here in this regard. So I was saying to somebody, I thought I wanted to go to IIMA when I was 12. And I didn't know what IIMA was, I had no idea what management was, but for some reason I decided in my mind that was what the shape was going to be, and I even avoided the engineering degree because I did the opposite. I avoided the engineering degree because I thought, if I want to get to the MBA, why do I need to do the engineering degree along the way? And I think, as because for me the biggest contribution I may make is, for me it was where I grew up, and it taught me resilience. It taught me to work harder than I've ever worked. It gave me the company of some exceptional minds and some very decent people to work alongside. And I think the foundation it lays, and certainly you appreciate it more with each passing year. I think when you leave, you're 21, 22, 23, and you take it less, you give it less credit than 10 years later, and in some cases, embarrassing though just to admit 20 years later. I think you give it more credit every year. The other contribution, certainly for me it has made is a network of friendships, of people who are going through the same experiences at work over a very long period of time that are just useful to learn from and who I respect and admire. And that's another great, in an uncertain world, that gives you a great asset.
Yeah, thank you again to the professors and the Institute for giving us the opportunity to come here. Truly humbled and honored to be here in this highly exceptional group. To me, I think IIMA, to me, very different from Tulsi. IIMA was not as much of a dream. Like many confused undergrads, I somehow ended up here. With this not being a dream, and therefore I was one of the angst-ridden ones. What am I doing here? During my 2 years on campus, but I think the exceptional minds, the culture of excellence, how hard it is, how really hard it is, really prepares you for life and all the situations that you will undoubtedly be faced with going forward. Life is tough and you have to be resilient and strong, and I think IIMA really gives you that. Because it's tough, I think the other thing that it gives you is sort of the ability to focus on your long-term goal, because as long as you keep comparing yourself with others, it's very difficult to win in that race. You can win in your own race. And I remember one conversation with a professor at IIMA, and I was at that point of time, for some reason, I don't know why, very focused on preserving local varieties of crops. And this is a digital analysis and communication professor, and I said, I want to do my abstract here. And he said that I will help you. And he took out a lot of time to help me sort of research this paper. And that experience always stayed with me because it reminded me of how much the faculty cared for development, for impact, to build the nation. And because every little bit counts. I truly think that it is from this audience, it is from this group of people that the leaders of this country truly will emerge. So, and the faculty, I think, plays a big role in doing that. So, thank you very much for that.
And let's turn the other side.
Hi, as the director said, campus provides you with a very good skill set to be able to perform wherever you go. Straight out of campus, I went to Goldman Sachs in New York and worked with them for a while, came back to the country, wrote the civil service examination and got into the service. But all that was possible. Making these choices or being able to do what you want to do becomes possible only when you are confident enough. You're not foolishly confident. You are aware of what you can do. You are aware of what your capacities and incapacities are, and what is it that you want to do in life. And these are decisions, and this decision making is something which you imbibe while being on campus. Quality of faculty or the quality of peer group, the quality of the entire environment which the campus provides you is second to none. It's terrific, and that adds a lot of value to the individual and helps him face life, helps him face for the trials, tribulations which you will encounter going forward. My experience here was tremendous, but one thing that stood out was the quality of the peer group. The quality of peer group, the quality of teachers here is exceptional, second to none, and that helps you, learn far more than what a mere classroom environment can teach you. A lot of good people, a lot of brilliant minds graduate from IIM Ahmedabad, and they do a lot of good things in life. I'm sure there is no corporate in India and a lot of corporate in the world where you will not find IIM grads at top positions. So from amongst those people, if I get an opportunity to sit here and share the table with these good gentlemen, ladies here and the director here, I feel truly humbled, and I look forward to putting the, doing the right thing going forward in time always, so as to trust which the campus places in me as an individual and other award winners, we are able to live up to this trust and keep on performing better and better.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for putting this program together. Thank you for recognizing us. I truly wish in our time we also had something similar, because as we came on campus we had views of our own about what was important at that stage, what was important those 2 years that we would be here. I have come from another engineering college, and I had no particular work experience at that stage. So essentially, the most important things seemed to be grades, etc. And I wish we had the opportunity to interact with people like this group who had been 5, 10, 15, 20 years out of campus and had been recognized as people who have somewhat done decently from campus, and could perhaps impart a little bit of direction, which people may follow, may not follow, but that at least gives, I think what we learned in the classrooms became more and more valuable with time. There doesn't go by a month or so when something that was learned in the classroom does not get applied. Whether it is something as simple as there is no magic, everything is eventually rational. Whether it is just a tenacity to work hard, but those things one would expect from IIM. What I did not realize at that stage, and increasingly realize, is the value of the networks at Ahmedabad, and that those networks are not just the people whom you are studying with or batchmates with. Today I operate in the insurance industry. 60%, I would say, at least half the CEOs in the insurance industry are from Ahmedabad. When I started Policy Bazaar, I did not think things would be like that. And the moment you are interacting, there is a certain camaraderie, there is a certain amount of trust, there is a certain amount of, let's say, due diligence that does not need to be done on the individual. And that means you can move ahead with your conversation to the next level, which is huge. That is impossible to replicate in my view, and I think that's the biggest piece that one takes out of IIM Ahmedabad, that nobody needs to do that basic due diligence on you, because that's kind of done. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I have this feeling of deja vu of Professor Rakesh Basan's class, and all the class participation over. And you're the last guy asked the question, you have nothing new to say. So, in addition to all that was said, I have to thank the Institute, and you have to make the relevant point at the end. So, I think the point that I will make, which is duly relevant, is I really thank the Institute for the opportunity for me to walk in the night in the campus, in the old campus and the new campus. You just realize what a magnificent building we have been privileged to be part of, and the new building is so inspiring as well in its own kind of different way. And you realize that greatness can only come from the kind of physical space that you're in, and I'm really grateful to the Institute for letting us live in this precincts for 2 years. So, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. As Rakesh was mentioning, perhaps if anybody has any questions, either of the group as a whole or individuals, please, we'd be very happy to address this.
Mr. Thakur, I wanted to ask you what kind of management principles or features you would like to implement in your own work when you work with these features?
I'll just give you one small example. One is that every problem, like for example, we had this problem in which we had to achieve certain number of, we needed to make our district open defecation free within a certain time frame. And there were no targets given to us. We were never told that you have to do it. But I felt that that is one tangible result which I can show to myself in the next 6 months of when I took over the district. So the ability to analyze the problem and how we broke that program up in terms of the, actually putting people on the ground, doing a proper data mapping of where the toilets were missing, using technology for the same. And then, of course, the idea of using, having a good set of people on the ground, and recruiting a new set of people, various HR-related principles were used. I think that is one part of it, but that is something which administration is nothing but a lot of common sense and a lot of passion. I think these two can make you a good officer. But what really I think makes a difference is when when you go at the lower levels of government, often the skill sets are very limited. So if you tell somebody to make something as basic as an Excel sheet, often you just don't have the skilled manpower at the lower level to deal with it. No matter whether it's government employees or it's outsourced employees, it really doesn't matter. To be able to, that width of skills, like at times I just got down on Excel myself and just shown it to them, that this is how you do it. And then they turn around and tell me, sir, aap ye jante ho? And that is IIM Ahmedabad. Recently we had an election, I had to show them how to make it on Excel because my guys couldn't do it. But once I taught them, they were able to pick it up. But to lead by example, to be able to actually make a PowerPoint, proper PowerPoint yourself and still, this is not actually your job as a DC, but you can do it. Your ability to be able to show the way and do it yourself and lead by example. I think those are the overarching, techniques which have helped in my case.
Other comments or observations, questions? All right, then thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate it.